Hello, Christine Dürschner.
Hello, Martina Riccarda.
I'm so glad that you had a yes to my request to make this interview, and yeah, thank you that you accepted that.
Yeah, and thank you for asking, so that I could have a yes for it.
Yeah. Okay, I want to say a few sentences about who you are and what you're doing, and yeah, if there is something lacking, then you just can complete that. I visited your website. I wanted to see how you introduce yourself to the world through this website. And I know that you are a coach. I know that you are a trainer, that you work with people and with also with groups, with I think perhaps also with companies, with all companies when there is,
Starting.
yeah.
Mhm.
And you give work talks, you give workshops, you give work talks, you're holding trainings. And I have seen that what I did not know, I have seen that you have written a book. And this book has the title Your Choice. And what is this book about?
Yeah, thank you for this question. It's been a long time. I wrote this book. I think it's about 8, 9 years ago, or even 10, and it was this research of mine to get my authority back, to get out of this construct of modern society, of the frame of this is how it should be, this is what we learned, and this is what school and our family and society is showing us. And I in 2012 I came across possibility management, and my whole world shifted into, oh, something else is possible. And this book was kind of the starting point for me realizing what it takes to actually own my choice, to have a choice. Actually, we have always our choice. Even if we are unconsciously choosing, we are choosing. And to shift this unconscious choosing, because somebody told us to choose this, and we already agreed when we were kids, and we are choosing it again and again, but unconsciously, to shift into a conscious choice and to get your authority back, in the sense of not that some authority is telling you what to do from the outside, but to become the authority that you really are, what you want to bring into the world. And that's what is the book about, and what steps do you need to take. They're like really the first steps, because I wrote this when I was literally not starting, but at the beginning. So actually this book is really for someone who really starts, who is at the edge of modern society, and say like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And how do I bridge myself into a new space, into a new context? And so it's a book for beginners, I would say, and to learn what it takes. Yeah.
And what I hear is that you also that you have written that book at a time when you were also a beginner, when you were also going through that doorway of getting back your authority.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it was a mix of possibility management. I also worked together, like at that time I was inspired by a spiritual teacher whose name is Teal Swan, and she's dedicating her work a lot of in the direction of healing. And I realized I was such a messed up child in myself. This is what I realized at that time. And nowadays I know that I had a lot of child ego state contamination. I have a distinction for that nowadays, but back then I did not have. I only knew that I was mainly acting out of child reactivity, and it was not my authentic choice, but I produced results which I was sad and angry about afterwards because I left a mess in my relationships, in my surrounding, and people were like, hey, why do you do this? And there you were too pushy, and there, why are you withdrawing, and why you are blaming me? And I was very much in reactivity mode. So that was this research of, okay, how does it go? Like, this reactivity part definitely has no ability to be its own authority, because this is just reactivity. It's a repeating pattern. Someone pushed the button and a reactivity is coming up. So the research was, what is authority, and which part of me is able to be an authority? And I realized something, what I today called adult state. Like, I realized, and back then I called it like me, like, okay, me, adult me. But who is this? And where can I find this adult me in me, and without reactivity? So this was the huge research back then for me to open kind of the inner gates, that something else, that the choice is possible for me.
Wow.
And so,
okay.
and this research I put into the book.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, great. I find that interesting what you said about authority, to get back the authority, because in the old in our society, authority is a word that is often used together with hierarchy. Yeah, and also in my like I would have understood that earlier, authority and hierarchy. And I know that you are also a game world builder, and you are a builder of community, of game worlds of community. You are a community game world builder. And how does that go together, this word, this thing that you get back your authority and living together with others? Can you say something about that, about your way?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm living since 2012 in a community with, like, where we are practicing communication and relationship skills in daily life. And my research is so far that we all have a picture, a construct of hierarchy within us. Especially, we were born into modern society, all of us, and some already passed the bridge into next culture. Where I am on, I'm on in a bridge house, but like I'm bridging into next culture. And I was born, and people are born in modern society with a construct. Like, the modern society has a patriarchal construct, which is based on hierarchy. That means that which reflects also in family constellations. It's like, there's the head of the family is the father, and then besides there's the mother, and then the children. So there's everywhere there's kind of hierarchy involved. And then back then like, after family, it's the school, and then there's the teacher, and he's on the top, and the children are down there, the students, and university, and then in corporations and in jobs. It's just going the same stream. So it's really deeply ingrained in the cells of people, in the mind construct, but really also in this experienced reality, experiential reality, that this is the norm, this is it, this is how it works. And so everyone has this construct in himself. And the first thing in a community is you will face this construct, because what we in Schloss Glarisek we are researching is how to be in a circle together, and we called it the group of all leaders. Okay, what would be this? Even leaders is still kind of it's a word which is originated in patriarchy in itself, because the leader is on the top. So nowadays I would call it space holders, like a group of space holders. What is it if we all are space holders in the same circle? And while we are sitting in a circle together, everyone is faced with its construct in itself, and like, okay, where do I think that the other person needs to speak now because they have more authority and they know much more, or they are longer in the community. So we are facing our inner constructs of hierarchy, and to realize, first of all, this is the first step, to realize, okay, what kind of construct do I have? Because this is then the X on the map, and then from that point on, you can walk kind of towards a hierarchy which is falling into the circle. What I said is like, it's kind of, this hierarchy falls into the circle so that everyone has authority in the circle. There's no one actually missing out authority, but it's an inner process to, it's not just sitting in the circle and then you have authority. It's an inner process to move internally into that space, that you become your own authority, so that nothing is actually hindering you to speak out whatever you have to say and contribute to the flow in the conversation, the collective conversation, instead of holding back and not saying anything. So this is a really huge topic in community. So it's an empowerment process, actually. It's empowering also the next generation, the newcomers into the field, so that they would speak up and feed the circle, instead of just sitting there as students and waiting what the older people, or like the people who are longer in the community, would have say. That would not diminish the experience and the kind of the matrix that, of course, people who are longer in the community have more experience. Nevertheless, they are on the equal level. It's not about they are better or they have to say much more. And of course, they are holding more experience in this, and have more. So, like Arnold Mindell is talking about rank, but rank not in the hierarchical structure, but in the in different domains. And this would be, okay, they have more rank in experience in being in community. That's it. It has not like this, okay, that's you are a better person, or you have more rank in the hierarchy, but it's about having more experience and awareness and knowledge, I would say.
You have this archetypal talisman is also a circle. And what is the thing with the circle? Why is it a circle? Why is it not a line? Why is it a circle? What is that?
That's a very good question. And this circle, like my talisman, is representing like being together in a whole space where chaos is happening, and with the clarity of the collective of people coming together and holding their authority in a collaborative way, the chaos becomes shape, like, because every person shapes what is possible and collaborate and co-shape what is possible in this field. And of course, like, it's a circle, it can also be sometimes a bit wobbly, but actually, like, the space, what I see mainly, it's a ball. It's not a circle in a two-dimensional way, but in a three-dimensional way. So, and I think this is the bridge from this culture, or not this culture, modern culture, into next culture, is to own this space together and bring the clarity, which is also like there, like there's the sword of clarity, and to really bring clarity into the space. so that co-creation is in a very elegantly way possible.
Yeah, and it's all in your talisman. It's so great. And what is the bridge? I mean, you tell us a little bit about your latest project, where you are and what you're doing there. Some sentences about that.
Yeah, while we are speaking, I'm in Bavorov. It's a tiny little village in South Bohemia, Czech Republic. And we are a group of possibilitators, and we're holding space together for a bridge house, especially a possibility coaching bridge house, which means that we are holding together the context of next culture, of possibility management, of radical responsibility. And we are inviting people, clients, into this house for their healing and transformation. So like, we are offering possibility coaching while we are doing this. And we are also inviting other possibilitators and possibility managers who are out there on the same path into practice in creative weeks, where we are training and practicing and creating together. Because like, so much is happening online, and there are labs and Expand the Box and Rage Club and Fear Club and a lot of offerings happening online and also offline. And there are not so many spaces yet for practicing these really daily life offline tools which we have in possibility management. So that's why we are inviting people to join us, and then we are practicing. And there are different kind of offerings like radical relating and even reading week. Like, we are reading together matrix building books, and how is it to read a book in a week, or even 2 or 3, and share the distinctions, what you distill out of a book. I think this is also a great skill for building matrix, is not just reading a novel and say, okay, I read that book, but like, okay, how is it to extract the distinctions you got and share it with your group and say, hey, this is what I learned. So learning is even happening on a wider level. So we are not only reading 1 or 2 books in this week, but maybe 10 or 15, because I get all the distinctions and the learnings from the others. Mm-hmm. Or we are even reading the book with each other out loud. Like, how intimate is that? It's like, it's a so different experience, and it's nourishing the being, and it's not only the mind, but it's all the bodies are involved in this intimacy exchange. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we have also like a writing week where we will write together, and everyone is starting its own like article, book, newsletter, whatever wants to be channeled out and emerges into the space together. And sitting in I already imagine us sitting in the kitchen. It's a huge kitchen, and we are all typing and writing, and this field of creation. Like, I look really forward to this co-creation space.
How many are you there?
Like the core group is, we are 4 people. Mm-hmm. We are 4 people, and then yeah, it depends how many people are joining our ride. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what to ask first. I have so many questions, and what is burning most is the question I heard today. I heard that there is the German word is Halbwertzeit. In the English is, I looked at it, is half-time. There is a half-time for bridge houses, and this half-time is 3 months. And did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, and what it means it doesn't mean that after 3 months it's over. It means that after 3 months the space evolves into something else. So it is not like a community where you live, everybody lives in. It's something alive, almost something organical. something that's going on and changing and evolving the whole time. And after 3 months, there is something new.
Yeah. Yeah, what I realized, even we are just started, but having the experience so long living in community, I realized that when the purpose is to settle, then there is also some kind of a settlement in the decision of the mind and the being, and like to settle, which is stable, which is permanent, which is not evolving. So to really shift into new culture in yourself, it needs kind of a time frame of, I would say, minimum 6 months to a year to really shift into a new space in yourself. So the 3 months is really only just a kickstart. It's a start, and then moving on in a different place is really, it sounds very reasonable for me, because it catalyzes the process of this transition process. It really catalyzes the momentum into something new. If you would settle, something is also settling in the place. And kind of it's this picture of people say, I wanna build roots. If you build roots, you are not kind of transitioning and transforming fast enough. And in this phase, you really want to transform fast. And it would hold you back. It's nothing bad about growing roots, and it's probably a different phase in life then. And if you want to transition into the next culture, it would block you actually if you really settle too deep into that. It slows down the process. And if you say, oh, hey, I really want to kickstart and want to shift, this is blocking to grow roots. This is my experience. It's like there's the parts in us. There's a part, the gremlin part, and probably also the child part wants to, like, oh yeah, I want to have family, I want to have a home, and the gremlin is like, oh, I'm so busy, I want to relax, I want just to do nothing and just be with the people, which is kind of the hidden purpose of people not transforming kind of fast enough. And it's not about being fast, but it's about what you want. If you want transformation, then this is definitely blocking. Yeah.
I would like to hear more about that word bridge. And I thought, why is it not a bridge is somehow a decision. You have to decide or to choose to cross that bridge, and it must be more. And what is the more? What is the difference between choosing to go into this new culture, choosing and crossing that bridge? What is the bridge, and what is it for you? What is this bridge for you?
Yeah. Well, like being in being in the next culture means that you already gained enough matrix to hold also the next culture. And what I saw also, that every person has its different purpose. So I see possibilitators who are holding kind of the stick and the stand of and the quality of next culture, and others are holding the quality of the bridge. And me personally, I'm on this bridge. Like I know that this is possible, and I'm also holding the quality also there. I have kind of one foot there and one foot back in modern society, like at the edge, to hold the perspective that I can be the bridge for people. and others are holding the context of the next culture, and they are already co-creating next culture, which is totally necessary, because this is kind of it creates a vacuum of and a necessity, so people move over the bridge, and every person has a different purpose on that way into next culture. And being on the bridge means that you are in transition of unlearning what you learned in modern society, and you are kind of I have the picture of getting naked. You have clothes on, you put all the different kind of fancy dresses on, and then you realize you need to get naked first. You get your earrings off, and your scarf and your trousers and everything, and you get really naked, and then you start choosing what you are and what you want to wear. But that's a process. That's being on this bridge, and holding like the reality that, okay, even you it's not possible to be there and just shift overnight into that would be a fantasy. It really needs work. It needs building the matrix. It needs unlearning and realizing and training and practice. It's work. It's work. It's inner work mainly to get clarity and hold the inner context of what does it take, how much how much responsibility can I take, because modern society has the level of child responsibility, and shifting from a child responsibility into next culture, which is based in radical responsibility, is really it's a shift. It's a path. It's not, oh yeah, tomorrow I'm there. That would be really fooling yourself. So holding this bridge is so necessary, because this is I think this is the natural organic necessity of transformation, to hold this space open so people can pass over.
And I hear that it's also a process. It's not something that you decide or choose today and tomorrow you are there, or you cross a bridge that is 2 meters long and then you are on the other side.
Yeah.
I have this assumption, it's really an assumption, that everybody on this world is exactly where he or she wants to be.
I agree. And it's a difference if people really get that. Like if you are still operating in modern society and you're trapped in the system, and I hear a lot of people complaining and they are angry about where they are. The first step is realizing that what they want, they have. So somehow hidden purposes are in action, because they are still receiving what they want. They want complaining, they want competition, they want hierarchy. This is what their system still holds and wants. And dismantling this realization of our inner constructs make it even possible, so that you really understand what your adult self wants, because these wants are mainly based on survival, and next culture is based in really living full out, which is such an opposite way of approaching life. So what you want is not it's not this when what you want is only a distinction. It's in the way it's not I want means this is good. I want is only what you have. The reality, what you get, is what you still ping out in the world as a construct, as a frequency. Your patterns and your old decisions are holding a frequency which are pinging, kind of projecting into the world. And people have no idea what they are actually projecting. That they are the actor, the projector, the managing director, they are all at once, right? They are playing their own game, but realizing that they hold all these roles, that's the dismantling process to really become naked, so that they would understand that what you want, that you understand what you really want, and then you can move over into the next phase of the bridge.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I heard that you are somehow that bridge, and you said that you are standing on with one foot on the in the next culture and with one foot in the, how do you call it, old culture? Yeah,
modern society. Yeah.
Yeah, and is it necessary to stay with one foot in this old thing to be a bridge?
I have no right or wrong answer to that. For me, I can say yes. I have to be, but like I have to kind of touch modern society. I want to have, actually it's not I need, but I want to have still contact, so that I feel also the necessity in the field. I feel the necessity of the person. It works for me, at least. It works to be still in touch with that, with a modern society. So and still I hold my contact. I have a culture to culture conversation. It's not that I am still holding this culture, but I'm attached, like I'm holding contact. I have a culture to culture conversation, means I'm asking dangerous questions about the culture the person is, which the person holds, with whom I'm in contact with. Oh, okay, interesting. This is how you do it. Wow. Okay. Tell me more about it. Like how is it? How is it on your side? How you do that? And then probably people are like, oh, why? Maybe there's something else possible, because when such a question comes, it is like this vacuum which is created, like, oh, how come the person can even ask this question? Yeah.
Yeah, and in my experience, it's when I talk to people and I have this and I say it's cool where I am, come here with me, and I don't know, it's better here, then it doesn't touch the people. So but when I say I walked through that door, I know what it means, I know the fear, I know the sadness, I felt that everything, and then it's creating intimacy to the person.
Yeah, I so agree. It's like holding, it's not about selling and marketing next culture. It's about holding the space and inviting people into your space. Actually, we were just out there in Budovice, and we did an intimacy cafe, and we in like the Bridge House crew, the Possibility Coaching Bridge House team, were holding space for this intimacy cafe, which was actually really a culture to culture invitation, because people from modern culture were passing, hustling by from wherever they want to go, and it was not like, hey, this is what you need to buy. It's not about that, but we were inviting people into our living room, basically, and say, this is what you can get. We are offering this. You can meet us here. We are here. And still people have this construct of, oh, someone is approaching me. They want to sell us something. of course they have this reaction. And as I already discovered this pattern in me, that when I was back inside of myself in modern society, I had the same reaction. Like someone came and I was like, he wants to sell me something, or she wants to, oh no, and I was already blocking. So because I already discovered this pattern in me, I'm able to shift the conversation into, okay, this is not what I choose. I'm choosing to invite people into this space, and it's their choice to come. It's not me like trying to fish and catch them, like, yeah, you need to come to my place because then I feel better or whatever. It's like, I feel already enough. I am enough for myself. I have not a lack of something and they would need to fill it. I'm enough. So I'm here and you can meet me. This is the invitation. You can meet me where I am, and I offer here my menu of possibility speaking or listening space or appreciation or the wild card, and you can choose. And this is what we did, and this was exactly this culture to culture conversation as a really fun game, and we had amazingly fun, and people were coming. It's like, and some were only watching, but it made something. Even they were not coming, probably they were saying like, oh, there was a weird team on the square today, did you see them? Or I don't know what yeah, you never know what the ripples are when you're holding a specific when you hold the field of modern next culture. Yeah.
Thank you, Christine. I would like to close this space, and I have a last question for you. And
Okay.
this question is, what would you say, where are you at home? What is at home for you?
That's a bigger one. I realized over the last years, this is a question I'm asking the participants of community intensive weeks. Like, where is home for you? And my personal question at the moment, or answer, is that my home is where I have my own authority. And home is also on different, in different bodies. In my different bodies, I have different kind of home flavors. There's, for example, when I'm tuning into Schloss Klarisek, a part in me is their home. Also, when I'm going to a city I lived in for 8 years, it felt like when I'm visiting there is a part in me is still excited about, it feels so common. It feels like I have, I know this place. And that's a sense of home. And my being is home where I am, and also where I'm with my partner. Like there's also a home sensation. So on different levels, but mainly the anchor is inside of me. Like the anchor is where my own authority, my game world is my home. Wherever I go, this is the source. And of course, there are different aspects, parts, as we are sum of a lot of parts. Then there are different qualities too.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you for this time, for this interview, and laying that all on the table with me. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you, Martina Riccarda.
Yeah. See you soon.
Yes. See you in the next space.
Yes.